Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're talking about the one and only Zebec network. Now, we do have a little update from Zebec, which we will talk about before we dive into the technical analysis. We can see, right, there's supposed to be some type of space featuring some of these people, but they said that we're moving our upcoming spaces with CodaPay to next week to ensure all speakers can attend. Stay tuned for the new date. CodaPay, First International Bank, and Trust and PayBridge will all be joining us to talk about how stable coins are powering the next generation of payroll in the US. So yeah, we can see just a minor quick update right over here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump right into the basics. We can see right away, we are rank 137 in the world, price at 0.004952. We have gone up 55% in the last month, so very nice and juicy. Currently at 439 million market cap with roughly 23 million volume in the last 24 hours. I'm gonna say it's a very beautiful graph, right? Very beautiful. We were just at the 0.002 area, mid-July, and next thing you know, we pretty much like doubled. We pretty much doubled. We can see even the end of June. If we actually take the beginning of July, we went up all the way in 1 month, 140%. A little bit more actually, because I'm a little bit off. So roughly 145%. Right? That's fantastic. That is fantastic. July was a great month. I still think August is going to be a great month too. But of course, we can't just be going straight up, and up. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, that we are currently at 80,383 holders. We can see that it did slow down a little bit, right? The moment price isn't consistently pumping, we did lose a little bit of momentum in holders, but nothing too bad, right? Still 100 holders in a day. Just imagine, right? Just imagine when price was consistently going up fundamentally and we're getting roughly 200 holders. Just imagine what's going to be happening when we get the whole world onto crypto. When Zebec network takes over the world. When Zebec literally, right? And I mean, it's literally Zebec will be an international thing. It's going to change and innovate the whole game, right? People are going to be saying, hey, this person's getting paid by the second. I want that too. And next thing you know, one company is going to adopt it, another company is going to adopt it. And before you know, it's going to be a big snowball effect, which is why I'm super optimistic about this crypto. Seriously, guys, I am super optimistic about it. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, right? I wanted to click on this actually, that we can see, right? The Zebec burn impact from Zebec card usage. Monthly burn is 1% and yearly burn is 12%. So we can see, the more coins that get burned mean there's less supply, which automatically means price goes up. So very fantastic news, ladies and gentlemen. Very fantastic. Super optimistic about this project. Seriously am. We can see that in the last week to week and a half, I guess we kind of started this week just not too long ago. We have been selling off a little bit, but the selling pressure has been weak, right? Without a doubt, I can confidently say the selling pressure has been weak. And, for me, this is just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're kind of selling off, we're kind of reversing, but it's very fundamental and slow because it has a purpose, right? It has a purpose. We did just go up pretty much consistently for the last month, right? There were times, of course, we had a mini sell off of a couple percent here and there, but that's just very normal. But we did break out of this trend line that was super narrow, super steep. We broke out of it just roughly 3 days ago, and ever since those 3 days, we've gone down roughly at one point 12%, now currently 8%. So not that bad of a sell-off, to be honest. If I really wanted to make it more accurate, I could debate over here, right? But still the same thing pretty much. 1% this way or that way doesn't make too much of a difference. Ultimately, right now, the goal is to see how far we go down. I don't think we're going to be selling off too far, and I don't think we're going to be selling off aggressively. All right, for me, Zebec is trading very fundamentally and for a purpose. right? The purpose is just most likely to be retesting this huge support down here, right? We can see lots and lots of support and resistance around the 0.0042. So that is where I still expect for us to probably tap in. But once we tap in, I would not be surprised seeing some type of momentum change, right? As of right now, right? Still no confirmation for any momentum change. You could debate on the hourly, but to be honest, for me, this is more of a pullback to retest off of the zone of 0.0052, right? To retest off this to go lower, right? I'm ultimately looking to see these lows, these double bottoms over here to kind of get taken out at 0.0046. So we tap into again the 0.0042, the 0.0044 range. Okay. And that is what I ultimately believe, this recent pump of a couple percent, right? Nothing too crazy. It was probably like 4 to 5%. Oh, 9%. 9% is nothing in crypto nowadays. Let's be honest. 9% is kind of nothing. But yeah, we went up a little bit. We're selling off again. Structure still looks bearish. For me, we are still showing reversal signs. We can literally see the doji candle too, which is a massive doji. It's a massive reversal sign. So most likely we'll continue to go lower. There is a small chance that we do bounce off the 0.0048 to then re-break. If we do re-break, ladies and gentlemen, then that is already extreme bullish confirmation. And that means that the demand is so high that we don't really need a very big fundamental pullback, right? We get something kind of like the way we did here on the 17th and 18th, where we broke structure, right? Remember, we were in this kind of range here. We sold off a little bit and then we just started to bounce up, right? So something similar could technically play out where we were just kind of in this range, right? We sold off just a little bit and then we bounce up. So it's either that or a little bit further down, which ultimately doesn't really make a big difference because the goal is to look and to contest these highs over here of 0.007, right? And I do believe that's going to be sooner than later. I still believe that's probably going to be happening near the end of August. And I would not be surprised if in September we see some type of official rally. Okay. But yeah, things are looking good. Things are looking solid. I probably do also expect a little bit of a sell off once we get to the top, something similar to this. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, have patience. We are looking very, very good. Bitcoin is still holding around 120K, which is good. Bitcoin dominance is still holding on to the 60%, but once it starts kind of selling off the 60%, then we pretty much have the beginning of altcoin season confirmed. Not the huge big rally that happens in that 4 to 6 week span, but like the start where things and momentum start changing. Okay. When we look at the total market cap, we can see we are kind of also contesting too, right? We did sell off a little bit, but we're kind of just retesting off these highs. And once we kind of break from this 4 trillion market cap, we should just be consistently going up over the next few weeks. A lot more money should be flowing to the markets, which obviously something like Zebec will, right? Zebec will benefit. We can see Ethereum has been going absolutely crazy over the last few weeks. It's already at 3,500. It's probably going to slow down once it gets to the all-time highs, roughly around 4,900. But ladies and gentlemen, this is exciting times. You should know when Bitcoin dominance starts breaking, when Ethereum starts going up, when there's more money in the markets, it's those times, those next few months that are going to be the consistent green days, the consistent pumps. And I'm super, super excited over the next few months, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot hold it back. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys so much. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.